Hi, my name's John and I'm an airport chaplain. As a Christian, I've been bombarded with lots of messages of encouragement in these difficult times. There's nothing wrong with that, but after a while it all gets a bit much. It's like eating too many sweets. After a while you feed that you need a different kind of diet and it doesn't touch you where you're really hurting. Today, a friend of mine is attending the funeral of his wife. Numbers are strictly limited and it won't be the service that they planned together before she died. That'll now have to wait for the end of the lockdown when things get back to the new normal and we can come together to celebrate her life and achievements. And so my thoughts naturally turn from those messages of hope and encouragement, important though they are, to thoughts of lament. Lament, expressions of sorrow, remorse or regret, are one of the themes that run through the Bible. You only have to look at some of the Psalms to see how lament works. The writer is in trouble and there seems to be no way out. So when all else fails, they turn to God. And how many times, I wonder, have we done that in times of sadness or in times of uncertainty when all hope seems lost? And we turn to something, someone beyond us, even if we don't class ourselves as believers. The writer then tells God about what's really on their minds and why they think that God has forgotten them. And this is where we are really honest about how we feel. Perhaps this is where we can say things that we would never speak aloud, but which we need to be said for the sake of our sanity. And then the person makes a request to God for some sort of action, some relief from the situation that they find themselves in, some peace perhaps. Perhaps we make a promise that deep down we know that we will never keep. And next the believer speaks of their trust in God, perhaps remembering what God has done for them in the past. And there's always the unspoken belief that God will respond, even if it takes longer than we would really like, and it may be in ways that are quite unexpected. And finally, the believer praises God. Psalm 137 is probably the most famous psalm of lament, especially after Boney M turned it into a pop song by the rivers of Babylon. And here is a whole community lamenting its fate. But for something more personal, then Psalm 86 is a good place to start. If you're a believer, then try writing a lament of your own. It can be a good way of letting off steam, and it's far better than bottling things up until they explode. And even if you aren't a person of faith, then try giving it a go anyway. And you may be surprised at what you discover about the situation that you find yourself in and about yourself. Keep safe.